What is the Gamas Project? Charity. According to dictionary.com, it is the voluntary giving of help, typically in the form of money, to those in need. They say it begins at home. There is an ancient Chinese proverb that says, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. I'm a vocalist and I love music. I grew up in the 90s, and in the 90s, there was a popular hip hop band. Maybe some of you have heard of them. They're called Arrested Development. So they sang a song entitled, yep, you guessed it, Give a Man a Fish. That was my first introduction to this ancient proverb. What I liked most about the group is that their lyrics always had a message in them. They talked about the political and social challenges of the day and the disparities in underserved communities. The songs compelled young Black kids and brown kids to think for themselves and not just want change, but be the change. And that has always stuck with me. As a kid, whenever I wanted something to eat, I could go to the refrigerator or cabinet and find whatever I needed and even wanted. My mom also had a pantry where she stored canned and dried box goods in case of need. Growing up in Bartlesville, we weren't far from a grocery store, but when I came to Tulsa to visit my grandparents and my extended family, it was a different story. That's when I was made aware of food deserts. A food desert is a district with little or no access to large grocery stores that offer fresh and affordable foods needed to maintain a healthy diet. Instead of such stores, these districts often contain many fast food restaurants and convenience stores. Hi, my name is Tara Payne. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a recently published first-time author, a vocalist, a music lover, a proud Tulsan, and a member of Thrive Tulsa's third cohort class. So, food deserts. Food deserts disproportionately affect socially segregated groups in urban areas, specifically single mothers, children, and the elderly living in underprivileged and urban neighborhoods. Why does that matter to me? I'm here because I happen to live in one of these neighborhoods. Families and individuals without a car are also at a higher disadvantage in terms of their access to healthy food in food deserts. And I believe all people should have access to fresh, healthy, non-genetically modified organic food and the knowledge to harvest it for themselves. And I believe that charity is equipping these families and underserved communities with the tools to improve their lives. So I'd like to present to you the Gamas Project. If you give a man a fish, or in this case, a plant or food, as we've seen in recent months with the pandemic, then yes, they'll eat for a day, maybe even a week. But if you teach them how to plant their own food, then they'll eat forever. And that is the crux of my project. Again, my name is Tara Payne, and I am presenting to you the Gamas Project.
All right, let's bring her on. Boom.
Hello. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm great.
So the Gamas Project. Mm-hmm. One of the things I noticed in your video is, where does the name come from?
So the song that I referred to in the video, Give a Man a Fish, is an acronym for Give a Man a Seed. Just made it up.
Excellent. All right, sorry. I just had to do some behind the scenes thing.
Yeah.
So giving people, like both Chris and I have also gone through the Thrive program. So we've run into similar ideas and common problems. And so I would like to get your feedback on why you decided that giving people things to plant was the best way to sort of fix the food desert problem.
Oh, that's a great question. So for me, I think it comes from my desire. I'm a mom. My daughter's 4 years old. I think it comes from my desire to show her where food comes from, and to have the pride that comes with harvesting something or bringing something from, from seed to table. And then I figured, hey, you're not just giving food, you're actually showing people skills. I mean, those skills can translate to culinary, a culinary career or agronomy or agriculture. So that's where that came from.
So I'm curious what this looks like in practice. Is it training programs? Is it providing tools? What does this look like?
That's a great question as well. So it's training programs. It's providing tools. It is giving classes, since everything is virtual now, via a platform such as this, to show people how to use the tools that they've been given to create the outcome that we want.
Excellent. So how can people help?
Yeah.
So people can help by, I've got a survey that I am going to be doing, and I need input because, it's one thing for me to say, oh, this would be great. But there's another thing if people in the community are like, well, we don't really care to do that. So people can help. People can help by giving their input. And thank you, Martha. And people can help by contacting me. And just input right now is the greatest thing that I need.
So if they want to fill out this survey, how do they do that? What's the best way to contact you?
The best way to contact me is to email me at paynecreativeconsulting@gmail.com.
Excellent. All right. So getting input from people, then what? Obviously you're going to take that input and look at it, but what are you thinking the next 6 months of this project is going to be?
So the next 6 months is going to be trying to decide, okay, is this a building that we need? Because I foresee not just teaching people how to plant, but having a place where they can come plant, which our, community is very philanthropic. So we have lots of programs that are already doing gardens and things of that nature. So it may be partnering with one of those organizations to say, hey, how are you using this garden? And how can we help to maybe even do a seed bank or something like that? So it's trying to see, do we need a physical location? Is it going to be all virtual? Do we need teachers? Are there people who can teach agriculture? Are there people who can teach culinary skills? I would love for it to be a place where there's a garden and then there's a restaurant and maybe even a store, so that all of that can be sourced through the garden and the things that we plant.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
So the idea of food deserts gets discussed a lot, especially when we're talking about Tulsa, because Tulsa clearly has food desert areas. Mm-hmm. And I know there is a grocery store going into North Tulsa now that's being built. I can't remember its name. But
I can't remember the name either. But
I think Oasis?
That sounds right.
Yeah. Someone will correct me in the comments, I have no doubt. But
I think you're right.
Is one grocery store enough for North Tulsa?
No, but it's a great start. And we can't talk about the grocery store without talking about the people who have done the great work to get us that grocery store. So our city councilwoman, Vanessa Hall Harper, she and a team of other people worked very hard to get that to happen. So one grocery store I don't think is enough, but it's a great start.
All right. Sorry. Again, doing behind the curtain things. I apologize. So, you talked in your video about why this is important to you, but I guess I always find it interesting. What would you say to someone who doesn't necessarily think about food scarcity and food desert? That's something that is the most important thing right now.
I would say that if you think about it, it's not just about, food scarcity is huge. It could potentially affect, the way that a student performs in school. It could affect a lot of different things. I think that we would need to try and think broader than just, so you don't have a grocery store, so what? Just go further. Well, what if you don't have a car? What if you are not able to get to the grocery store? I think it's going to cause us to think, or it may cause us to think about minimum wage. Okay, do people need to get paid more so that they can have money to buy a car? I think that food is the way that I chose to go about it, but I think that the issue is a lot broader.
Well, I want to thank you so much it's an amazing project. Chris and I, we both wish you the best. I hope people will contact you so they can give you the input you need, and congratulations.
Thank you guys so much.
All right.